Let's go.
Malady grabs the vessel with 2 hands and pushes it into the water. She hops on board behind you.
God-woken. Wait till she finds out.
Salty water mists your face. Your skin prickles in bright, warm sunlight. The boat bobs forward through the water, and Fort Joy shrinks behind you.
Tired but victorious, the party made for the Lady Vengeance. The horrors of Fort Joy behind them. They arrived as sorcerers. They left as God-woken. The fate of this God-forsaken world now rested on their shoulders. Or at least, on the shoulders of one of them.
I have a thought.
A light sea breeze kisses your cheek and carries away the smell of blood wafting up from the deck. In the distance, Fort Joy looms.
What were they thinking, standing against an Eternal? I almost pity the poor, ignorant beasts.
A hard-fought freedom, sure. But if spilling blood is bad, it shouldn't be so agreeable.
I'll be damned if I ever set foot on that island again. Don't care who I have to bury. Onward now. The sooner Fort Joy disappears from the horizon, the better. Perhaps the Seekers need help manning the ship.
Well, this is a fine sight. Utterly barbaric, of course, destroying a tree and turning it into a boat. Grotesque, but, well, look at it, Quercus. A floating nest, surrounded on all sides by salt water, pure poison to a tree's root. The great acorn could never reach us out here. Well, yes, of course we'll continue our research, Quercus. We're not monsters. Still, I must admit you were right about the shield. It proved to be more than adequate. Oh, yes, it seems our shield is still here, Quercus. How does something so large and ungainly sneak up on a person? You give the giants too much credit, Quercus. I think the salty air has addled your mind. It has certainly been useful, but elegant, kind, surprisingly attractive. No, we have no time for your fawning. We may be safe, but the world is not. Come, we must return to our research.
Lord, so close to escaping.
Spare me, Gareth. We got what we came for. This is what success looks like.
I won't see them tossed overboard. Not here. We'll hold a proper service.
What's-his-face and so-and-so would want us to get this ship sailing before all else. They died for those God-woken, after all.
You know their names, Malady. Can't you even pay them that much respect?
Gareth inhales sharply, then catches you out of the corner of his eye and smiles, barely.
Our guest stirs. Welcome, God-woken. Glad to see you safely aboard.
Very glad indeed.
Too many.
One too few, actually. Alexander, he's alive. Apparently didn't hit hard enough.
He's in the hold below decks. Unconscious, but alive. Yes, we certainly had better, but the ship won't move.
She's mute. We need to free her tongue.
You're welcome to try, though I doubt it'll help.
What Gareth means to say is don't bother. Livewood will only move when it wants to, or in this tub's case, when it's forced to. That's right. The ship's made of an elven ancestor tree, the spirit of which is still trapped in every plank. What we need is a way to control the bloody thing.
The Seekers, the survivors of us, have been combing the ship from bow to rudder. It hasn't been easy. This place is laced with dark magic.
These Seekers have such a limited skill set.
We lost a man in the search. Malady might not appreciate that, but I do. And I hope you do too.
I'm sure the Godwoken will be able to get the ship moving. They kind of like to feel useful, don't they? That's the spirit.
Hey, stranger. Glad to see you. No reds in the offing yet. Don't imagine they'll stay gone, though.
Nothing on any of the dead bodies. Maybe there's something below decks.
Void Slayer, Worm Killer, Godwoken. You have many names. Let's add ship's captain to the list once we get this thing moving, shall we? I won't let the Fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallis, no better than Alexander, if I just tossed their remains into the sea. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. All this blood. Children ripped from families. Seekers ripped from me. He's down there now, guarded like some precious jewel, rather than leashed and flogged like the dog he is. Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. That was before we found the others. The Seekers were once part of the Order, my friend. When Lucian died, we waited. Yet Alexander never rose to divinity. And then we started to find more like him. More Godwoken. And we weren't the only ones looking. A killer had marked them too. The Seekers were born. We found Godwoken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. I was naive. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead. She's not exactly a Seeker. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siva says, and I don't doubt it. I don't know how Siva came to know her, but Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the best, really. Meister Siva's there too. One of your kin. My leader. Our leader. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. She'll reveal them to you. Show you how to manipulate them. Keep Lucian close, Godwoken.
Sendelius. Hear my... Don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive. That's right, Godwoken. Another Seeker is dead, so you might live long enough to face your destiny. I hope Malady is right about you.
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby. Something is nestled within it. Fragments of scorched bone.
That was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him, without warning. He burned, like he was made of parchment. Nothing. The ship is live wood, that much is clear. But I couldn't communicate with it. The Magisters must have done something, warped it somehow. I just don't know what.
She sighs.
I know. Just be careful.
Her eyes flick over to the smouldering ashes once again, her head held at a despondent angle.
Thank you. We were held captive together, on this ship. He kept my spirits up. Now he's dead.
Aye, the giant takes notice of its charges. Ask away, Shield. Indeed, Quercus.
Our survival hinges on getting this ship moving, Godwoken. We are searching every corner of it for anything that might help us.
You made it, Godwoken. Good. Not all of us did, though. The sooner we leave this island behind us, the better.
We have to set sail.
Now my scales are singed.
What is it, Red? Dying to hear them. Meister Siva is one of a rare breed. She'd do anything in the name of a cause, and her cause happens to be you. She's desperate to meet a living Godwoken. She'll be exceedingly pleased we're en route. We'd better not leave her waiting. She's a bit particular. She's the founder of these Seekers, and she's powerful. That means something when I say it. Your kind can reach astounding heights. Meister Siva can help you do just that. A place called Driftwood hosts a putrid fish, putrid dwarves, and Meister Siva herself. You'll probably find it quite comfortable.
this again. Rubbish.
I was just getting used to this seafaring life. You know, we could... from the look in your eye, I gather it's time to grab my things and get back to work.
The silent monk leans from one foot to the other. He seems eager to move. The silent monk leans forward slightly and stares.
Rubbish.
Let's team up, you and me. What do you say? Suit yourself then.
He drags a comb through his beard. His face bears the scars of a hearty life, but his whiskers glisten as if glazed by the morning dew.
Doing? You creatures with your legs and arms and your opposable thumbs. You always want to steer the ship. You need to trust the ship. It knows what it's doing. It dances to the tune. It goes la 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 la, or something like that. It's pretty catchy, but I can't remember how it goes. Good thing Dallis had that book, eh? In your hands. This is generally accepted amongst creatures like yourself. Opposable thumbs, remember? All right. Go to the nose bit of the ship, open the book, look at the markings inside it, sing the song. That's it. Get it right and the ship will dance to your tune. Get it wrong and the ship will kill you. That's always entertaining, for me anyway.
To feel the rolling of the waves.
Junk.
Actually get a good night's sleep.
Boring.
Melody says if we can get the ship to move, we can go home. Home!
All that fighting will be worth less than nothing if we can't get this tub moving.
Now is not the time for a bath.
I must say, you may not be an eternal, but you are certainly not as temporary as many of your fellows. You handled yourself well. Personally, I am just glad that I do not have to walk back to Reaper's Coast. Wind travel may be primitive, but it is at least efficient. If only. Alas, I do not have time for isolation. If you must know, there is an excavation site at the Black Pits on Reaper's Coast. I go to seek answers. Ah, yes. I have heard that your people enjoy various fermented fruits and vegetables. It often seemed to be involved in... Pardon? Was that an invitation? Were you trying to initiate some form of mating ritual? Why, that would be excellent! I have been curious about this for some time. The social interactions, the expectations, the mechanics. Come now, let's begin immediately. I shall compile my notes afterwards.
Fane grabs your hand and enthusiastically pulls you behind the screen.
Well, that was most unusual. I mean, I had read all the leading authorities on it, but I didn't think. It's just that thing you did with your tongue. It was quite unexpected. My goodness. It was certainly an experience, but I must admit I was expecting something more. Not from you. Certainly not from you. It's just that I felt nothing. Neither the warmth of your touch nor the fire of your passion. I may as well have been churning butter. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, you were perfectly adequate. Sublime test conditions, really. It's just, well, all these books promised a transcendental experience. Instead, it was merely biological. Now, if you'll excuse me.
The skeleton pulls a notebook from his robes and starts scribbling. You can hear him muttering something about highly unorthodox, lack of sensation, and coccyx. You ponder his words as you pick up the last of your belongings. You're almost sure that's what he said.
A team? What an interesting prospect. You certainly seemed capable in Fort Joy, and a companion on Reaper's Coast could be quite educational. Very well. I am open to this. I believe you normally spit on your palms to seal agreements, but I seem to lack the fluid and the desire to touch you. I hope a hearty verbal agreement will suffice. Very well, let's be off.
This boat's a treasure. Dallis wouldn't know what to do with it.
Nothing. Empty as Dallis's heart.
There's got to be some clue. Dallis would have trusted someone with a secret, wouldn't she? Unless there's someone still inside.
Allies for hire.
You're here! Pretty nice boat, eh? We got an upgrade. There's got to be another way to get it going, but we can't find a way into Dallis's room. Maybe you can see something we can't.
I've got... Speak to me if you're looking for hired help. I've got good fighters of every stripe. They know how to keep their mouths shut too, as long as there's gold in it for them. So, what'll it be? I've got a few good prospects for you in that case. Tell me some more about what you're after, and I'll see that you have just the right type at your side. A lot of choice, I know. Something else I can help you with then?
Hey, don't I know you from somewhere? So, we've got quite the task on our hands, haven't we? I have to admit, the whole thing is very intriguing. The old band back together again, hmm? I guess that depends, doesn't it? Look at me. Hard. What do you see?
Lohse leans back slightly, thin arms crossed in front of her chest, and stares at you defiantly from dark eye sockets, darker and deeper set than when you first met. She blows back a lock of white hair, matted with sweat and grime, and holds back a smile from the corners of her lips.
But I'm not the same, am I? Your god wants me dead. My... god? Devil? Who knows? It wants me. It's getting stronger and I need to outpace it. I want to make sure you understand, well, the risks. You don't get it. I'm dangerous. You have to pay attention. You have to be willing to hurt me if I'm hurting you or someone else. Can you do that? Do I ever? Still sore from that one. At the time, I wanted you to defend me. I didn't realize how bad things had gotten. I know better now. Something like that happens again, you do what needs to be done. Deal? Well, all right then.
She pinches your cheek, a sparkle in her dim grey eyes.
I knew I could count on you to murder me in a pinch. Let's go, Chief.
Magister Randy, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance.
You keep saying that. It won't save you.
I ought to chain you up like your lot did to me.
Magister Randy, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance.
Enough! Being behind bars suits you, murdering scum.
We've braved the joy, and I lust for further adventure. What say you? Shall we continue our journey together?
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any...
I've spotted something.
The Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance.
The Seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you draw near.
I owe you, Godwoken.
Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the bloody divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
No, they had us down below, chained up in the dark. But the Reds were up to something in here. Maybe it was just the lack of food and rest playing tricks, but I swear I heard chanting and horrible moaning coming from here. But when we broke free, it was empty. We're a big bloody target on our backs. We took their leader and their flagship. The Hammer won't stand for that. She'll be hunting for us. I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints are paying the price.
The Seeker throws a toxic look at the imprisoned Magister.
Hardly. She's just some deckhand. If it were up to me, I'd tie her to the main mast and use her for arrow practice. But Malady wants her alive for now. Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold, and the other one ain't in much of a talking mood. All right then, just don't make me regret it. I'll keep an eye on the Red until the cage is locked again.
A young Magister paces around the brig, fussing over Alexander's unconscious form. She leans over and applies a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot, so stow your questions, lizard. Ranley, Corker's mate, Lady Vengeance. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
The Magister falls silent, but stares at you with unwavering defiance. There's a shift in the Magister's expression, a flicker of doubt. Then...
I'm a good Magister, loyal, but Dallis, something about her has changed. She's toying with dark magic, like a common sorcerer. She used to sing to the ship. It let her control it. She had this old book of hymns and incantations. It was only ever in her hands, or else locked away in her cabin at the stern. That's all I know. Get away from him, sorcerer. That's the Divine. All right. Don't harm him. I'll be watching.
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells. A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope. The gem sits heavily in your pouch. Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, the bishop's white robes are stained with blood and...
Whatever that Magister told you, I hope it helps.
The Magister leans in and whispers...
If you ever find yourself face to face with Magisters, you tell them I was tortured. I didn't betray the cause, not until I was near death. Understand?
fighters, mages, archers, all willing to fight by your side if the price is right. Whatever type of companion you need, I can provide.
finding extra help in a fight. I'll guarantee you that.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice its unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. A face appears in the wood, tortured and tormented. A six-sided indentation is carved on its forehead, as if a gem or amulet had made a mark there. The face vanishes. The door remains closed. It seems you need more than a password to open it. The door remains unmarked. The anguished face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you the sternest of looks.
I am summoned. Speak the password. You've summoned me with the gem, indeed. Now, the password. Yes, and yes again. The word is spoken. Welcome to the stateroom.
You saw what I could not. It seems Melody is quite right about you.
I hope you found something or someone useful inside.
Just one more moment, please.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
And there. Rescued at last, am I? To whom do I owe my thanks? I'm a prisoner, of course. Do you think I'd be sitting here calmly if I was a Magister holdout? That infernal Dallis woman left me trapped here, too weak to escape. It seems I'm in your debt. Despite what she did to me, I can't help but admire the woman a little. She's unwavering. She will break before she bends. If you cross paths with her, be sure to break her. I doubt you will get another chance. Why torture? What else?
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath, the skin is withered and discolored, as if it were magically decayed.
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and I've ruined them in the process. Well, the situation is looking immeasurably better now. You'll hear no more complaints from me. So why don't you tell me all about my valiant rescuers? To whom do I owe my thanks? Your blood means nothing to me, Lizard. Merit is what I value. I ought to continue what I'm doing here. Unless there was anything else? Took it? No, I made it. Have you seen the kind of metalwork the Magisters deploy? This is in a different class to them. As I said, the Magisters left me weakened. But this will help give me the strength to carry on my work. I have particular skills that she sought. Healing, crafting, and more arcane magical practices. She had me enchant a dead cat, for instance, so it would seem alive.
He clicks the gauntlet into place around his withered forearm, his eyes on you the whole time.
But that damn contraption that she used on me seems to have fogged my memory. The rest is a blur. No! Necromancy is an unsavory practice, not something to be trifled with lightly. This is but a cunning illusion of my own creation, nothing more.
His face abruptly creases into a smile.
But come now. Enough of Dallis and dead cats. You've taken this ship and granted my freedom. This is a happy moment. I'm afraid I cannot tell you what I do not remember. Could you pass me that copper wire just there?
An unseen force yanks the copper out of your grasp. Tarquin catches it and offers you a thin smile.
Butterfingers? I'm afraid I truly can't remember anything. Now, unless there's something else you want, I need to get back to my work. Dallis didn't tell me anything if she could avoid it, but I did overhear her practicing an ancient lizard dialect. That might ring a bell with you, might it? My thoughts exactly. Curious how Dallis would seek to learn such things, don't you think? Perhaps she left something behind to point to her intentions. I'm doing my utmost to be civil to you, under rather trying circumstances. Why must you push me like this? An active imagination. Overheated, even. Perhaps you should let this matter rest. Your blood is up after your adventures, it seems. You wouldn't want to do anything rash.
Let the creature live. He is hardly worth our time.
Something tells me that he'll only bring us woe, but I can't judge him yet.
Anyone who faced enslavement deserves our sympathy, not our blades. Leave him.
He takes your hand in his gauntlet-clad fist and shakes it. There's a lot more power in his grip than his slender frame would suggest.
Call me Tarquin, and consider me at your service. There's likely not a soul aboard this ship without secrets they'd rather keep hidden. Why should I face more scrutiny than the rest? I'm not some serving boy. You will demand nothing from me. We're barely acquainted. Why should I tell you anything personal? I do not confide in reptilian fops. Whatever measure you have of yourself is no doubt bloated by the labors of slaves. Leave me.
Boring. Boring. This looks like a teleporter pyramid. It could certainly come in handy.
A teleporter pyramid. Only one way to find out if it works. Try using it.
And you thought Rivellon was flat.
This is written in ancient lizard script. It appears to be a song.
And you thought Rivellon was flat.
I've spotted something.
I click and clack as I stalk my prey. My tail rattles like a snake's. I suffer. Don't touch me. My very being is a curse. Was Tarquin that wretch, that rat? I ate an ill mouse and passed in my sleep, and the brooding boar brought me back on a log. Me miserable. Mumsy? Is she here? Mumsy, where are you? 'Tis I, Booply Bear. I am quite changed, but don't be frightened. There is no shame in being ridiculous in the name of love. You? She sent you?
The cat begins to purr and rub itself on your ankles.
Any friend to Mumsy is a friend to me. I believe the song is around here somewhere. As I said, not Mumsy. You'll need the song for that.
The cat purrs, an eerie clicking sound.
Tell Mumsy to come back soon. Now that I am but bone, I'm too light to trip the moving door. I'm sure there's a rat back there.
Oh, Quirkers, don't be like that.
I was looking at his bone structure for academic purposes. There's nothing to be jealous of. Honestly.
I've spotted something.
Whatever kind of companion you need, I can provide.
I'll need to get clever with this lock.
A moment's pause. I had thought us too wicked for rest. What use Fort Joy had has been spent. New hunting grounds wait across the sea, so by all means, let us sail. Ha! People will enslave anything these days. At least back in my day, they had the elegance to opt for an elf. Home? There's no such thing. I hail from the land that was. The Kingdom of Fog. The grave of Divinity. If ever I had a home, it has long since gone up in the smoke of death fog, along with so many elves. So, no home, except everywhere, really. The world is mine. It's mine because I say it is.
She looks at you expectantly.
Yes. You may bow before the Queen of the World. We, the Queen of the World, smile upon thee with favor. We dub thee Knight of the Needle. Arise, good sir, and wear your title proudly.
She takes you by the hands and laughs heartily as you stand up.
How kind of you to play along. We won't forget.
Pretty nice ship, eh? Captain Losa. Has a ring to it, doesn't it? Depends which one. Most of them seem a little too earnest for my taste. But Malady, she's my kind of girl. In any case, it looks like they're probably going to help me find out whatever's leeching off my magnificent brain. So I'm not too pressed about being in the same boat. Ha, the same boat. Sure thing, Chief. What's up? Pretty nice ship, eh? I had a little chit-chat with Malady earlier. She told me I need to find someone to, exercise the thing in my noggin. Apparently, I'll be able to find him near Driftwood, where we're heading. Exciting!
How can one be seasick when one has no stomach? This is heinously unfair.
Set sail, for the love of all things, set sail. The sooner I am off this carved monstrosity, the better.
You after something?
I'm ready. answer for me.
Both, I fear.
Another pyramid.
This again?
You after something? Looking to interrogate me again, perhaps?
I've got sword fighters, mages, archers, all willing to fight by your side if the price is right. Expert warriors.
May the fallen rest easy in the Hall of Echoes.
Gareth pauses, then shakes his head.
A mistake was made. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Gareth stumbles backwards. His words pierce you like daggers.
Whatever's on that page is none of your concern. Let the dead rest. If only you were as concerned with getting this ship moving as you are with the past, we might be in driftwood by now.
Dallis, hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Be careful around the figurehead, Godwoken. We can't afford to lose you.